Everyone says France will win this World Cup. The squad is unreal. Mbappe, Dembele, the reigning Ballon d'Or winner, Olise, Cherki, Tchouaméni, Saliba. On paper, this team should be untouchable. And yet, something always goes wrong with France at a World Cup. In my opinion, and I'm going to back this up with evidence today, France's biggest enemy at this tournament is not Argentina, not Brazil, not England. France's biggest enemy is France. Let me show you exactly why. Before I get into the three specific problems, let me give you some context that makes this conversation so interesting. France won the World Cup in 2018, playing defensive, counter-attacking football that most of their own fans were not proud of. They were efficient, they were ruthless, but they were not great. 2022, they made the final, lost to Argentina in one of the greatest World Cup finals in history. Mbappe scored a hat-trick and still ended up on the losing side. That tells you something. And now, we are here. World Cup 2026. France are favourites again. The squad is deeper than 2018 and 2022 combined. But the problems, based on what we have seen this season, are deeper too. Three problems. Three reasons why I think France could fall short again. Let's get into it. The first problem is Kylian Mbappe's body. And I want to be very careful here, because this is not a criticism of Mbappe as a player. In my opinion, he is still the most dangerous footballer on the planet when fully fit. The word when is doing a lot of work in that sentence. In the 12 months leading into this World Cup, Mbappe has picked up significant physical issues at least 4 times. Ankle against Azerbaijan in qualifying, he limped off in the 83rd minute. Same ankle flared up against Villarreal. Then a hamstring pull in Real Madrid training, right before the Clásico. He was nowhere to be seen for that game. And then, while he was supposed to be recovering, he travels to Dubai. Not to a medical facility, to a paddle club. Now, he still made the squad. He is still the captain. And when fit, he is France's entire plan. That is exactly the problem. France's system under Deschamps is built around Mbappe's direct running and transition speed. When that engine is not at 100%, the entire attacking structure loses its primary threat. We saw this in the 2022 final. Argentina figured out that if you disrupt Mbappe's movement early, France struggle to create from open play. That tactical knowledge is now in every coach's notebook. The counter-argument is simple. Mbappe has always carried knocks and always delivered at major tournaments. He scored a hat-trick in the 2022 final while his team lost. That is extraordinary. I accept that. But the number of injuries this cycle, combined with Real Madrid's disastrous season, means he arrives at this tournament potentially physically and mentally exhausted. And if Mbappe is not at 90% fitness from the very first group game, France's path to the final becomes significantly harder. That is problem number one. The second problem is one that nobody in French football wants to discuss openly. There is tension inside this squad. And based on everything we have seen this season, I believe it is more serious than what is being publicly acknowledged. In May 2026, just weeks before this tournament, 2 French players at Real Madrid came to blows. Twice, in training. Tchouaméni and Valverde. The second incident left Valverde with a cut to the head that required hospital treatment. Both players were fined €500,000 each. Now, Tchouaméni said in France's pre-World Cup press conference that a lot of nonsense was written about the incident. I respect that response. But here is what I think matters more than the incident itself. Tchouaméni and Mbappe are both French, both play at Real Madrid. Both had a season that ended with 0 trophies. A Champions League exit, and training ground violence. And now they are expected to walk into a World Cup and be a unit. That is a significant mental ask. Eduardo Camavinga, who was in the 2022 World Cup final squad, did not even make this team. Dropped entirely. Deschamps also couldn't settle on a midfield pairing throughout the entire qualifying campaign. He tried different combinations in almost every match. A settled midfield is not a luxury at a World Cup. It is a necessity. The counter-argument here is historical. France's 1998 World Cup winning squad had dressing room problems, ego clashes, personality conflicts. They still won. Talented players have always found ways to put personal differences aside when the flag is involved. I understand that argument. I just think the 2026 squad carries more psychological weight going into this tournament than any previous France generation. And if Deschamps does not manage those dynamics carefully in the first 2 weeks, those tensions will surface at the worst possible time. A knockout game, extra time, a moment of pressure. That is problem number 2. The third problem is the one that has followed France for 8 years, and nobody wants to say directly. Didier Deschamps is a World Cup winning manager. He deserves enormous respect for that. But in my opinion, with this squad, at this moment, his tactical approach is a limitation, not an advantage. France have arguably the most attacking talent in world football right now. Dembele won the Ballon d'Or this year. Olise is one of the most creative players in Europe. Cherki, Barcola, Akliouche. The depth in attack is extraordinary. And yet Deschamps consistently builds a cautious system that asks Mbappe to do everything alone, while the rest of that attacking talent plays support roles. Think about what that means. You have a Ballon d'Or winner on your team, you have Michael Olise, you have Rayan Cherki, and your system is still, essentially, wait for Mbappe to create something. That is not a criticism of the manager's character. It is an observation about his tactical philosophy. And I think it is the ceiling that could stop France from winning this tournament. The teams that are genuinely dangerous in 2026, Argentina, Brazil, Spain, all play with high intensity and multiple attacking threats. You cannot rely on one player to create everything against a modern high-pressing system. France's qualifying numbers tell the story. They scored goals, but they created far fewer clear chances than their talent level should produce. The creative ceiling is Deschamps' system, not the players in it. The obvious counter is that Deschamps won the World Cup with this exact pragmatic philosophy. He knows what works at a tournament. He knows how to manage a squad over 6 weeks. And genuinely, that experience matters. Tournament football is different from league football. But the game has evolved since 2018. The elite teams press harder, think faster, and exploit conservative setups more efficiently than they did 8 years ago. If France face Argentina in the knockout rounds, Deschamps' tactical system will be tested in a way it has never truly been tested before. And I'm not convinced he has evolved enough to handle it. That is problem number 3. So, 3 problems. 1. Mbappe's body is carrying injury history into the biggest tournament of his life. 2. The dressing room has fracture lines that Real Madrid's failed season made worse. 3. Deschamps' tactical ceiling may not be high enough to beat the best teams in this tournament. Does this mean France cannot win this World Cup? Absolutely not. Based on the available talent, France are still, in my opinion, one of the 3 most likely teams to lift the trophy. If Mbappe is fully fit, if the dressing room cohesion holds, if Deschamps finds the tactical flexibility to unlock what Dembele, Olise and Cherki can produce together, then France could be unstoppable. But could be, and will be, are very different sentences. The evidence suggests France are brilliant and broken at the same time. Historically, they find a way. But history also shows that this specific pattern, the talent, the tension, the tournament favourites label, has not produced a trophy since 2018. My view is this: France will go deep. Semi-final is the floor. But unless something changes tactically, and unless Mbappe is genuinely at 100%, I do not think they win it. And I think somewhere inside that dressing room, they know it too. Now, am I wrong about this? France fans, I genuinely want your argument. Because the counter case is real. The talent is real. The hunger for redemption after 2022 is real. So tell me, is this the year France finally deliver on their potential? Or does the same pattern repeat? The World Cup starts June 11th. We will find out soon enough.